Great. Thank you, Jordan. Awesome. So just make sure when you're typing to take out those 3 dots. Those are sentence stars, and that's just how, get you thinking. But in your complete sentence, those 3 dots in your final answer. Great. Thanks, Jannard. What's about your body? What's something about your body? Give me some more information. Thanks, Maya. Thank you those of us who were working. So if you're like, Ms. Grandison, honestly, I don't know what's going on. No problem. Great, Trayvon. It's going to review in the video these responses. Hopefully it'll jog your memory for these questions. And we've learned this for 2 weeks. As a reminder, a trait is not like how you describe yourself as I'm loving, I'm caring, I'm kind. Those are not traits. Traits was passed down from mom, dad, your genes, from their genes to you. Characteristics about your body. All right, let's continue with the video, guys.
Hey, on the lab report, we'll learn that living things have traits based on their genes. That genes code for proteins.
Those are not traits. These are characteristics passed down from parents. To give an example, the hairless cat and the cat with fur. So please remember that in your minds as we're talking about traits in science class.
Traits are things like eye color, hair color, and the shape of our nose.
And someone said their notes as well. Eye color, hairline, nose. You were right on top of it. Good job for doing that.
Or in the case of these cats, having hair or no hair.
Yes, and traits are determined by genetic material called DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, and it has a recognizable shape, like this.
Wow, it's long and twisted.
It is. DNA is found in all cells. It contains the instructions for making an organism.
So you have that first question where it says during or after the video notes. Number 1, what is DNA and why is it important? Can you come off of mute or text me in the chat? What would you type down for that answer? Once again, what would you type down for the question? Number 1, what is DNA and why is it important? As a reminder, so we earn points by responding back. Thank you, Nayana. Yep, and it's right there on the screen, guys. It contains instructions to making organisms represent you as a person. Wonderful. Did anyone remember what DNA stood for?
Contain all the instructions for making a cat. And the DNA in my cells contain all the instructions for making me. That's right. The DNA in each of our cells is about 2 meters long, which is about 6 feet. Here is a 6-foot piece of string for comparison.
Whoa, how does 6 feet of DNA fit in each cell in our body?
Great nucleic acid.
So if you didn't get it down, it is right there on the screen. Thanks, Nayani. Great, Nayana. All right, moving on. So during the video, you have 2 more questions. So please be mindful of we're just not sitting here watching and listening. We actually are actively taking notes during this video.
It has a recognizable shape, like this.
Wow, it's long and twisted.
It is. DNA is found in all cells. It contains the instructions for making an organism. So, DNA in cat cells contain all the instructions for making a cat. And the DNA in mice.
Explain how mutation can happen and give an example. And then for number 3, give an example of mutation and explain if the mutation is good, bad, or doesn't change the organism. So you should be listening throughout the video to think about where or how you should type in your answer.
But most mutations have no effect at all. I can show you this using a recipe for chocolate chip cookies. Let's see what a mutation or error in the recipe can do. First, here is a regular cookie recipe without any mutations. Give it a try. It's good.
Tastes good, yeah.
Great. This next batch is one in which an error or mutation was added to the recipe. Instead of 1 teaspoon of salt,
Now, please type that down and sentence in your paper. Very good.
it's a little chewy, but it's not bad. As we just saw using a recipe, small errors or mutations have no effect, be beneficial or harmful. The same is true of.
That was what I needed. Yep. Alrighty then. So as a review, you have DNA, and in those DNA, one small change could change your code or could change how your body is affected in that organism. So on your notes, it says mutations that occur in blank can be passed down to offspring. What goes into that blank? Sex cells, body cells, or any cell? And if you need a hint, where do you get your genes from? You're once a zygote. Where did zygote you get genes from? And last question, what are all the only cells that actually come from your parents to make you? Let me see what's in the chat. All right. Nope. Thank you. Yes. You want the same hedge, Makai? Wonderful. Your sex cells. Good, Tyler. Great. So yes, those are the cells you get from your parents that your mutation can occur from because they're passed down. Remember, he said cut and paste from generation to generation. That's where you get your mutations in your cells from. All right, so now we're going to review the positive. Make sure I get Tyler's name. All right, negative and neutral mutations. So some mutations are positive or helpful. So in your charts, you have a chart that tells you positive, neutral, and negative. This is where you put your example. So what is the mutation that helps the bird get his food? Say it again. Yep, his beak. Great. What about his beak? Who is that talking? Get your points. Good. Was that Jamel? Awesome. Wonderful. So if you want to put into your notes the beak has changed so he can get his food, great. And Sanayana has also said his notes or his beak has changed. Wonderful. Make sure you type that down in your notes. Oh, got you. All right, next. Mutations can be neutral. It's like when he added donuts. It made the cookie taste a little better. He added a little bit more salt. It still was no change. Same thing with mutations and organisms. Some mutations do not affect the organism's survival and doesn't help or hurt the organism. So here's our example. We have, a couple of wonderful, not birds, whatever birds they're called. We have a normal dark green feather. What is the other mutation that we see in this picture? Right. All that happened was there's a bright green feather. That's it. It didn't hurt or harm the bird. Just so happened, instead of having that dark green, now he's lighter green. Let's look at this foot. Once again, there's no hurt or harm. The person isn't walking funny. It's just how his feet were made. I cannot say that term, but that's what it's termed when your 2 feet are together, like webbed together. That's also another option to write down in your chart for a neutral mutation. Didn't hurt or harm the person at all. All right, lastly, we have a negative mutation. These mutations are harmful and hurt the organism's chance for survival. Like the boogers, disgusting, that was disgusting. Same with the sickle cell that he talked to you about, or the changing of red blood cells. So, as an example, a 2-headed snake. They say 2 heads are better than 1, but sometimes not when you can join to your sibling. Or as they say, I know the harm with his ugly feet. I know it's her eyes, ew, but back to our negative mutation, same with conjoined twins. They might be conjoined at a vital organ, and they might have to split them in order to, or try to help to split them in order to survive. Another example, once again, is sickle cell. So we have our normal red blood cell shape, but then the mutated blood cell shape is like a sickle, and that is very harmful to the human body. So if you're like, Miss Grandison, you talked about, I didn't get it. No problem. In summary, some mutations are helpful. Mutations can be neutral with the 2 different bird color shades, and then some mutations can be harmful, like conjoined twins or 2 heads on 1 snake. So you can take the last, we do have time for this, couple of minutes to fill in your notes. I'll leave this up for 2 minutes and then go to that question with the bird. And if you did that already, you can go on to the independent practice questions, the multiple choice questions. Yes.
So what conjoined twins, when they get separated, is there a chance that one of them might die?
Yep. That's why it's very, like, they have long meetings to discuss, do we have to separate them? What do the parents feel about it? What organs are we splitting and cutting up? They could be sharing limbs, like, they could have 2 legs instead of 4 legs, or they have 1 arm on this side, 1 arm on that side, same brain, just meshed together. Good question. So we should be typing in our notes for the examples in that chart for positive, neutral, and negative.